The majestic sight of a Formula One race car sweeping through corners at speed is the public face of this popular sport. But away from the Grand Prix track, there is another hidden world of continuous technical development. A world that increasingly relies on digital simulation.
I think we live in a digital world now, we have to recognise that, and in Formula One we are pushing the limits of simulation and the utilisation of computer power to absolutely understand where the performance can be found in the future. So even if we still use track testing or wind tunnel testing, normally the area that we're looking in is predefined by computer simulation. And we're looking in a fruitful area where we can cultivate performance.
Many Formula One engineering departments use digital simulation technologies. For example, in its preparations for the Grand Prix track, this team uses a so-called 7-post rig. It's a sophisticated system of hydraulic rams that can exactly recreate the suspension movements of recent Grand Prix races. It's particularly important for a race like Montreal.
It's very important because, contrary to other circuits, you have these chicanes where the more you can ride the curbs, the more you can straight line them, and the more time you're going to gain. That means if you have a car that handles perfect over the curbs, you take them with you, and you're going to gain a lot of speed and lap time just only in the chicanes, which you don't have to gain on the rest of the circuit.
Similarly, the engine department uses its test bench, or dyno rig, to simulate a lap on any circuit where telemetry data has previously been collected from the car.
Typically before Canada or any other race, we have in our computer the complete throttle behavior that maybe can reproduce Jarno's driving style, or even a virtual driver that is trying to make his lap time in this, with a dyno. And in this way, we can already start to anticipate some potential problem in terms of engine response or engine mapping that the driver and the team can find directly in Canada.
Perhaps even more useful is the almost real-time application of this technology. During a Grand Prix weekend, engine data can be sent back to the factory for simulation tests.
For example, if during the weekend a driver experiences a particular problem in a certain corner, we can download all the data, reproduce it at home, work with the right time, with the right tools here, and then hopefully to give some suggestion to help the people on the track.
In the aerodynamics department, a combination of wind tunnel and computer simulation technologies also provides useful guidelines.
Obviously we have a very large wind tunnel facility, in addition to a very good computational fluid dynamic resource, which is effectively trying to reproduce the wind tunnel in the computer. In the wind tunnel we have a very complex arrangement whereby we try and replicate the track conditions as realistic as possible. In CFD we then try and match the model and the computational model to the tunnel, so we can try and improve the correlation from CFD to the tunnel to the track.
While simulation is increasingly important for Formula One, most teams are careful to keep these techniques in perspective.
No, you cannot trust simulation, because simulation is just simulation. The simulation is just as good as your department, your simulation department is, and in any case it faces, I would say, natural limitations. So simulation is all about the way you use it, because simulation is not the reality.
Simulation is indeed not the reality. And despite all the complex technology, for millions of fans around the world, that reality will always be defined by the sight and sound of an F1 car driven in anger.